I was standing in a lakeside lodge I had just paid $18,000 to rent. 43 members of my family were laughing, clinking glasses, taking pictures in the golden hour light. I was holding a drink I hadn't touched when I heard my sister Maya say it. Good thing we all agreed not to tell her. The room didn't exactly go silent, but the people near me did, and they realized, in that horrible slow-motion moment, that I had heard every word. What do you do when you fund the party and discover you were never really invited? I had every receipt. Bank statements, screenshots, property records. They had no idea. Before I tell you how I made them pay it all back, and I mean all of it, let me rewind. Because the betrayal didn't start that night. It started the day I became the family ATM and forgot to charge interest. Quick question. Where are you watching from, and what time is it right now? Drop it in the comments. And if you have ever been used by family, hit that like button so I know I am not the only one. Let me back up. I grew up in a working-class family. Mom and Dad did their best. We were never hungry. But we were never comfortable either. I have an older sister, Maya. She was the creative one. The free spirit. The one who could do no wrong. I was the responsible one. I put myself through college on scholarships and a part-time job at a call center. I graduated with a degree in computer science and landed a project management role at a tech company. By the time I was 28, I was pulling in 6 figures. Maya, meanwhile, was still finding herself. Barista, yoga instructor, social media consultant. She floated, and that was fine. I never judged her for it. But somewhere along the way, I became the go-to. Can you cover Mom's furnace repair? Just this once. Dad's car died. Can you help with a down payment? Maya's moving again. Can you chip in for the deposit? I said yes, every single time. I told myself it was love, that I was building connection, that they would remember. Here's the thing. I'm a project manager. I document everything. Every Venmo transfer. Every Zelle payment. Every promise to pay me back. I had a folder on my desktop labeled Family. 22 Excel tabs. 9 years of records. I didn't keep it because I was petty. I kept it because I'm wired that way. I thought it was just for me. Turns out I would need every single line. So when Dad called me in March and said, "We want to do a reunion," all of us, for once, I didn't hesitate. I should have. Dad FaceTimed me on a Tuesday night. We're thinking a long weekend in August. The whole family, cousins, aunts, uncles, 43 people. I smiled. That sounds amazing. Yeah, we just need to figure out logistics. You know, lodging, food, all that. I offered before he even asked. I can help. What's the budget? He paused. I should have caught it then. Well, if you could handle the lodge and catering, that would be incredible. You're so good at this stuff. What about everyone else? Maya's doing the vibe, you know, decorations, playlist, the fun part. The fun part. I let it go. I found a beautiful lodge 6 hours north. $12,000 for the weekend. I booked it. I arranged catering. Another $6,000. I hired a photographer. Paid for welcome bags. Covered the deposit on a boat rental. Total? $18,740. My parents thanked me once. 3-word text. You're a lifesaver. Maya posted on Instagram a week before. A sunset photo. Caption. Can't wait for family time. Blessed. She didn't tag me. I told myself it didn't matter. I drove 6 hours to that lodge on a Friday in August. I had coolers full of groceries in my trunk. I had printed itineraries. I thought this was it. The thing that would make them see me as more than a checkbook. I had no idea I was walking into an ambush. Friday and Saturday were perfect. Everyone was warm. Hugs at the door. Compliments on the lodge. This place is incredible. You did such a good job. But I started noticing things. Whispers that stopped when I got close. My cousin Jen going quiet mid-sentence when I walked into the kitchen. Uncle Mike switching topics when I joined a conversation on the deck. I told myself I was being paranoid. Saturday night, we did toasts. Dad went first. Talked about family, gratitude, legacy. Then Maya stood up. She thanked everyone who made this possible. Then she looked directly at Mom and Dad, not me. The room erupted in applause. I clapped too. What else could I do? An hour later, I went to grab a water from the kitchen. Maya was there with Mom, backs to me, voices low. I heard it clear as glass. Good thing we all agreed not to tell her. Can you imagine the guilt trip? Mom laughed. I stood there, plastic water bottle in hand, frozen. They turned, saw me. The laughter died. Maya smiled. Hey, having fun? I nodded. I didn't trust my voice. I went upstairs. I sat on the edge of the bed in the dark. And I pulled out my phone. I needed to know what they were hiding. and I had the tools to find out. By sunrise, I had my first answer. I opened the family group chat on my phone. I scrolled back. Something felt off. The chat had been created the week before the reunion. That seemed late for a 4-month planning window. Then I saw it. A setting I recognized from work projects. Thread history. I clicked. And there it was. A separate thread. Reunion planning. Original. Created 4 months earlier. 42 members. I was not on it. I scrolled through 347 messages. Maya had suggested the reunion in April. Called it a family healing thing after a Christmas blow-up I missed because of work. Dad proposed splitting costs. Everyone pay their share. Then Maya wrote this. Don't tell her. She'll just take over and make it about money. Let her think it's a gift. She needs to feel needed. 23 people reacted with hearts. I took a screenshot. Then another. Then another. I didn't cry. I didn't throw the phone. I just sat there, watching the sun come up over the lake, and felt something cold settle in my chest. I wasn't hurt anymore. I was focused. I went downstairs, made coffee, smiled at everyone. Good morning. Sleep well? They had no idea. But that was just the setup. The real betrayal was still buried, and I was about to dig it up. Sunday morning, I played the part. I served breakfast, laughed at jokes, took group photos by the water. At checkout, Dad pulled me aside. This was so great. Maya's already talking about next year. Maybe a cruise? You'd be amazing at booking that. I smiled. Maybe. Maya came over, looped her arm around Dad's shoulder. You're so generous. It's like your superpower. I looked at her. Really looked. She thought she'd won. I asked, casual as anything, who else is chipping in for next year? Dad's face tightened. Just for a second. Well, we all contribute in different ways. You have the resources. We have the time. Maya nodded. Exactly. It's about balance. Balance, I nodded. Sure. Later in the parking lot, Mom handed me a Tupperware container of leftovers. She hugged me, held on a little too long. You know we love you, right? I waited. You're just easier to ask. I drove home in silence. 6 hours. I didn't play music. I didn't call anyone. I just drove. By the time I pulled into my driveway, the family group chat was full of photos, gratitude posts, crying emojis, best weekend ever. Not one person tagged me. And then Maya started a poll. Next year, cruise or resort? She added a winking emoji. I didn't answer the poll. I had one more thread to pull. I opened my financial records that night. I pulled every transfer, every payment, every emergency I had covered. 9 years, $87,340. Not one repayment. Not one thank you dinner. Then I remembered something. Back in 2016, Mom and Dad bought a rental property. They asked me for help with the down payment. $18,000. I wired it the same day. They called it a loan. On a hunch, I pulled up the county property records. The rental had sold. In May, 3 months before the reunion. Sale price? $240,000. Clear profit after the mortgage. I checked the deed. 3 names. Mom, Dad, Maya. I was never on it. The $18,000 I gave them, it was never documented, never formalized. As far as the law was concerned, it was a gift. I opened Instagram. I don't know why. Maya had posted in June a photo of a brand new SUV. The license plate frame said, Blessed. I sat back in my chair. I understood now. I wasn't family. I was an asset, a line item, a funding source. And they were already planning how to spend me next year. Not anymore. I needed to understand. So I called my cousin Jen, the one who'd gone quiet all weekend. Can we talk? Off the record? She sighed. Yeah, I was wondering when you'd call. She told me everything. Maya had been positioning herself as the heart of the family for years. The emotional one. The connector. And she'd been painting me as cold, transactional, obsessed with control. When Dad proposed splitting the reunion costs, Maya stepped in. She told them it would hurt my feelings to be left out of planning. That I'd feel excluded, better to let me do what I do best, write checks. She convinced them I preferred it that way. Jen's voice was quiet. And the property sale? What about it? Maya said you made too much money to care, that you didn't need to be on the deed. Your parents believed her. I closed my eyes. Why didn't anyone push back? Jen laughed, bitter. Because it's easier. Easier to believe you don't care about anything but control. Easier than admitting they've been using you. I thanked her. I meant it. Then I hung up, and I made 3 calls. By the end of the week, I had a lawyer, a financial advisor, and a therapist who specialized in family systems. I was ready. Call 1, a family lawyer who specialized in unjust enrichment. I showed her everything. The transfers, the property deed, the texts. She reviewed it for 20 minutes. You have a strong case. Informal loan, clear expectation of repayment, unjust enrichment on the property sale. We start with a demand letter. If they ignore it, we file. I nodded. Call 2, my financial advisor. I removed every shared account access, every autopay authorization my parents had. I set up a revocable trust for future charitable giving. Family members were explicitly excluded. Call 3, 1 session with the therapist. She helped me script boundaries. Clear, clean, non-negotiable. I drafted a message to the family group chat. I read it 20 times. I didn't send it yet. I wanted to wait. See if they'd ask again. It took 48 hours. Hey, so we're thinking Cancun next August. Can you scope out some all-inclusives? We're thinking adults only. Maybe 5 nights? I stared at the message. Maya had sent it. I didn't respond. Instead, I opened the draft I'd written. I read it one last time, and I hit send. I posted it in the family group chat at 9:30 on a Tuesday morning. Hi, everyone. I've loved being part of this family, but I need to set some boundaries. I attached the spreadsheet. Every transfer, every date, every amount. Attached. A record of every financial contribution I've made since 2015. Total, $87,340. I attached the county property record. Also attached, the deed and sale record for Mom and Dad's rental property. I contributed $18,000 as a loan in 2016. I was excluded from the deed and from the proceeds of the $240,000 sale. I attached screenshots of the hidden group chat. Also attached, screenshots of the original reunion planning thread. I was excluded from a chat with 42 family members. The decision was made to hide costs and planning from me, while accepting my payment in full. I took a breath. I kept typing. Moving forward, I will not be funding family events, loans, or emergencies. I've hired a lawyer to recover the $18,000 I am owed, plus interest. This is not negotiable. I'm stepping back from this chat. I wish you all well. I muted notifications. Within 2 minutes, the chat exploded. Maya, this is so dramatic. We were protecting you. Dad, you're tearing this family apart over money. Mom, please call me. Then Jen, she has every right. We used her. Uncle Mike left the chat. 3 others followed. My phone rang 17 times in an hour. I didn't answer. The next morning, my lawyer sent the demand letter. Certified mail, official letterhead, payment plan or litigation. A week later, Maya's SUV went up for sale. I didn't feel victorious. I felt free. Maya and my parents paid back the $18,000. It took 6 months, installments. My lawyer negotiated terms to avoid court. There was no apology. Just terse Zelle transfers. $2,000 here, $1,500 there. The family fractured. Jen and 2 of my cousins stayed in touch. We text, we meet for coffee. The rest went silent. Mom called 19 times in the first month. I listened to 1 voicemail. You chose money over family. I blocked her number after that. Maya's Instagram went private. I didn't try to follow. Dad sent a single email at Christmas. Subject line, you've made your point. I didn't respond. Instead, I took the $18,000, plus the interest, and I did something with it. I started a scholarship fund, $20,000 a year, for first-generation college students in financial hardship. I named it after my grandmother. She told me once when I was 16, "Don't let people love you just for what you give." I didn't understand it then, I do now. I'm still in therapy, it helps. I started a tradition, weekly dinners with Jen and a few friends from college. Chosen family, people who see me when my wallet is closed. The old group chat still exists. I muted it a year ago. Sometimes I check in. It's quieter now. Smaller. Last month, Maya posted something on her Finsta. I saw it through a mutual friend. I'm learning about boundaries and accountability. She didn't tag me. That's fine. I'm not waiting for an apology anymore. Here's what I learned. Love isn't measured in what you spend. It's measured in who sees you when you stop. Family isn't just blood. It's the people who show up when there's nothing to gain. And boundaries aren't cruel. They're clarity. Now I want to hear from you. Have you ever been the family bank? How did you set boundaries, or are you still trying? Drop your story in the comments. I read every single one. And if this resonated, if you've ever felt used and found the strength to walk away, subscribe. There are more stories like this coming. I'll see you in the next one. One last thing. This story is a fictionalized dramatization. It is not legal or financial advice. If you're in a situation like this, talk to a licensed professional in your area. Take care of yourself. You're worth more than what you give.